Samuel Parris, the pastor in Salem during the Salem witch trials, was an individual that, though he held to basic Calvinist doctrine, he was an individual that did not have the character of the preceding generations. He was an individual that wanted to just trust in his status. He always wanted a greater salary. He would criticize people from the pulpit rather than practicing Matthew 18. He violated basic issues where he tried to solve them by creating greater strife through the pulpit. And because of this, you had a backslidden pastor whose own daughter was practicing the occult in his own cellar. And all the individuals who accused others of witchcraft were girls who were out from under the authority of their father, whose fathers had become passive, no longer looking to the welfare of their own homes. And because of this, these girls between the ages of 7 and about 16 or 17 years of age, practicing the occult themselves, begin to accuse everybody their parents were bitter at based on land disputes and inheritance laws. And thus you had this basic waning of evangelism and Christianity by that third generation. And this is a great lesson for Christians today, because we've got to pass on not only our head and theology, but our heart to our children and our grandchildren so they can continue that same zeal. Otherwise, we're going to see some of the same results, and in fact, we have seen that in America today. The book, The Crucible, in the 1900s, which made famous the Salem witch trials, was deliberately misreading history in several ways. First of all, he created affairs between the older girls. He made the girls a lot older in that book than they really were. They were actually pre-teenagers, and he made them into teenagers having affairs. But also, he turned it on its head for the fact of a disdain toward the Puritans, to just make light of Puritan laws, when in actuality it was the abandonment of the very Puritan laws that we had for 9 months in New England, when the charter of Massachusetts had been taken away and Governor Andros came down as a tyrant. Once the people rose up through interposition and restored righteous civil government, the trials stopped immediately. People were released from prison, and apologies and repentance and humiliation services were held. So to look at it that way is to misread history and misread it badly. Of course, Nathaniel Hawthorne, writing in his books, Nathaniel Hawthorne had a Reformed background, but he wrote his book, which I teach because I think I like to see high school students be able to see The House of the Seven Gables, how it is an actual marriage between Christianity and humanism. And I think that you can see within the writings of Nathaniel Hawthorne that he was looking for a marriage between the new humanistic views of naturalism that were in the 1800s with the old Christian views. And can't we all just get along and marry that? And of course that marriage produces something worse, which is something that he actually foresees. And so the three books that make Nathaniel Hawthorne this bridge that you see between that, you see The Scarlet Letter, and then you see The House of the Seven Gables, and then you see Brook Farm and his book on utopia, socialistic utopia. So you can see this transition. So there's no question the Salem witch trials are a pivotal event, but have been misread, and because people don't do their homework, they believe that which someone said about it rather than reading it themselves.